Here is exercise 8.8 Selina ICSE class 10th, which is the chapter current electricity, that is in page number 186. Now the first question is arises that what is the definition of the current and the SI unit of the current. The rate of flow of charge is known as current. The SI unit of current is ampere. And the second question is the define the term electric potential state and its SI unit. The amount of work done per unit charge in bringing the positive test charge from the infinity to the point is known as the electric potential at a point. The SI unit of the electrical potential energy is volt. Third question is how is the electric potential difference between two point defined? The state its SI unit. The difference potential between 2 points is defined by the potential difference between 2 points as equal to the work done per unit charge in moving the positive test charge from one point to the other. That is called electrical potential difference and its SI unit is volt. Fourth question is the explain the statement the potential difference between 2 points is 1 volt. Then how we will difference the two potential difference between that is 1 volt. The potential difference between 2 points is said to be the 1 volt when 1 joule of work is done in bringing the 1 coulomb charge from infinity to that point is called potential difference of the point in 1 volt. So the question number 5 is the state the whether the current is scalar or vector. What does the direction of the current convey? And question number B is the state whether the potential is a scalar or the vector. What does the positive negative sign of the potential convey? The first question we will see the answer is that the current is a scalar quantity. The direction of the current convey that the electrons flow opposite to the direction of the flow of current. Now the question second is the in that question number 5 is the state whether the potential is scalar or vector. We have to describe it is a scalar or it is vector. So the potential is a scalar quantity. The positive sign of a potential states that the work has to be done in the positive test charge against the repulsive force due to the positive charge in the bringing the it from infinity. Negative charge sign is potential state that work done on the negative test charge is due to the attractive force. Question number 6. Define the term resistance. We have to define only the resistance, that it is resistance as we know that it is the hindrance, it obstructs the flow of current. So the resistance and its SI unit is SI unit is ohm only we know. The correct definition is the obstruction offered to the flow of current by the conductor is known as resistance. The SI unit of resistance is ohm and the ohm symbol we know that it is like a U V shaped. Question number 7 first. Name the particle which are responsible in the flow of metallic current. The free answer is that free electrons, that particles which is responsible for the flow of current in a metallic wire. Now the question number second is to explain the flow of current in a metallic wire on the basis of movement of the particle named by you above in part A. Again question we read that explain the flow of current in a metallic wire on the basis of movement of the particles named by you apart. So the free electrons are moving charges that result in the conduction of electricity metals in time t and n. If electron pass through the metallic conductor, the total charge of the flow of current is flow of electricity is the charge into number of electrons on number of electrons on charge. Now the C number question is what is the cost of resistance offered by the metallic wire in the flow of current through it. The cost that the metallic wire offered in the flow of current is that as we know the metal contains free electrons and it is a mixed positive ions. When electrons move through a conductor such a metal wire, then the electric current as electric current flows in the metal, it the moving electrons can collide with the ions. Thus, this makes it more difficult for the flow of current in therefore the cause resistance. Now they state the Ohm's law and draw the neat level diagram containing the battery, a key, a voltmeter, a ammeter, a resistor, and the known resistance to verify it. According to the Ohm's law, the current flowing in the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its ends, provided the physical condition and the temperature of the conductor remains constant. This is called the Ohm's law. V equal to IR. Here the two terminal, the positive and negative at the point B it is put it and the resistor RH that is put it in the K, which is up switch. Then ammeter is put it positive negative terminal, and the second the voltmeter positive negative terminal, and the resistance R is put it. So it is in the parallel. So the question number 9 arises: the name and state the law which relates the potential difference and the current in a conductor. As we know, the Ohm's law that is only the relates the potential difference and the current in a conductor. So the Ohm's law that states the current flowing through the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across to the end, provided that the physical condition of the temperature of the conductor remains constant. Now the question number B is: what is the necessary condition for a conductor to obey the law named above in part A? The necessary condition for the conductor to obey the Ohm's law is that the temperature remains constant. Now the question number 10. Question number 10 is the draw the V1 diagram V1 VI graph the conductor to obey the Ohm's law, and the graph is that we will make the graph the y-axis x-axis, then we will put a volt, the volt potential difference in the y-axis and the current in the x-axis. So when we will put this volt in y-axis and x in x-axis, then it will show that the one straight line will form, that will make the line uh, in P that is equal. Then it will show that the conductor remains constant. If the it proportional, directly proportional. Now the question number 11: the draw the graph of linear resistor. What does the slope represent? In the linear resistor, the slope V1 graphs and the slope potential difference and volt graph is shows the reciprocal resistance of the conductor, i.e. the 1 by resistance of the conductor. Question number 12 is that what is the ohmic resistor? Give an example of ohmic resistor. Draw a graph and show its current. Voltage relationship. How is the resistance of a resistor determined from this graph? The conductor which obey the Ohm's law are known as the ohmic resistor or linear resistor. And example of this ohmic resistor are the all metallic conductors such as silver, aluminum, copper, iron, etc. are the ohmic resistor. Its resistance is defined in the form of slope from the above graph. Here in the above graph the resistance is shown. And the question number 13 is: what are the ohmic non-ohmic resistance? Give one example to draw the show its current voltage relationship. The conductor which does not obey the Ohm's law is that called non-ohmic resistor, that is simple. And the non-linear resistor same is non-ohmic and non-linear resistance are the same. Now the example are of the non-ohmic resistance are the LED, solar cell, Johnson diode, etc. The non-ohmic resistance, the graph will be not the same. Now the difference between the ohmic and non-ohmic resistance. In ohmic resistor, it obeys the Ohm's law, i.e. the V divided by potential difference divided by charge is constant for the all values of V, potential difference or charge. In non-ohmic resistance, it does not obey the Ohm's law, and potential difference by charge by current is not same for all. That means the graph will not same. In the ohmic resistor, the slope of V potential difference and current graph is the same at all values and the temperature at a given temperature, at particular temperature. The slope at a V and one graph is different at the different values of V1 or 1 even at given temperature. Question number 15. Figure below shows the characteristics curves from the two resistors. Identify the ohmic and non-ohmic resistors. Give the reason of your answer. The ohmic resistance, as we said, the graph will be not same. In ohmic resistor, graph will be equal. In it will be directly proportional. But the in non-ohmic, the graph will be not same. It will be curved. Question number 16. Draw the V1 graph a conductor at the given temperature. What conclusion do you form the graph of the variation resistor conductor with the temperature? So that we have to draw a temperature 1 graph and temperature 2 graph, and we have to show that it is given that temperature 1 is greater than the temperature 2. The graph will be increases in the temperature 1 because the straight line A is more steeper. Yes, CB, it is more steeper and than line B because the resistance of the conductor is more at a high temperature. Yeah, the resistance of the conductor is more at the high temperature. It will force more temperature. So the T1 than the low temperature T2. Hence, the can conclude the resistance of a conductor increases with the increase in temperature. Question number 17. How does the resistance of a wire depend on the radius? Explain your answer. We have to explain the resistance of a wire. The resistance of a wire varies inversely as the area of a cross-sectional. Resistance of a wire varies inversely at the cross-sectional area of a wire. Resistance of a wire is directly proportional to the length r reciprocal to 1 and varies inversely at the area of cross-section of the wire. So since the resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross-section, hence the wire will have more resistance. Question number 18. How does the resistance of wire depend on its length? Give a reason of your answer. Resistance of wire is directly proportional to the length of the wire. Resistance is directly proportional to the length of the wire. The resistance of a conductor depends on the number of collision which is electrons suffer with the fixed positive ions while moving from one end to other end of the conductor. Therefore, the long conductor, the number of collision of free electron with the positive ions be more when compared to the shorter conductor. Hence, a longer conductor offer more resistance. Now, question number 19. How does the resistance of a metallic wire depend on its temperature? Explain with reason. With the increase in temperature of a conductor, the random motion of electron increases. This makes the number of collisions which electrons with the positive ions increases. Hence, the resistance of a conductor increases with the increase in its temperature. The resistance of a filament of a bulb is more when it's glowing than when it is at the higher temperature as compared to the not glowing that which is old. Question number 20. Two wires, one of the copper and other is iron, and the same length of the same radius, which will have the more resistance give reason. Iron has more resistivity as compared to the copper, which has less resistivity. So greater the resistivity, the more the resistance it will is, and the smaller the resistivity to the lesser the resistance. Hence, the iron wire has more resistance than copper wire of the same length and the same radius. Question number 21. Name the three factors on which the resistance of wire depend on the state and how it is affected by the factor stated by you. The three factors on which the resistance of a wire depend upon as the resistance of a wire is directly proportional to the length of the wire. Second, the resistance of wire varies inversely of the area of cross section of the wire. The resistance will be less when the area of cross section of the wire is more, and vice versa. Third, resistance of a conductor increases with the increase in temperature. As a result, number of collisions increases. Resistance depends on the nature of a conductor since different substance with different concentration of the free electron substance which have a large concentration of electrons offer less resistance and hence called good conductor, and substance which have negligible concentration of the free electrons offer very high resistance and are called insulators. These were the some factors in which resistance of a wire depend and how it is affected. Question number 22. Define the term specific resistance and its SI unit. This question is very important. The specific resistance and the specific resistance and its material. State the meaning of the symbol used. Resistance is the expression is the R rho 1 by where specific resistance of the material of a conductor. R is resistance of a conductor, L is length of the conductor, and A is area of a cross section of the conductor. Question number 24. State the order of a specific resistance of metal, a semiconductor, and insulator. First is the metal. The specific resistance of a metal is low since it allows more of current to pass through it. The specific resistance of a semiconductor is more than metals. The specific resistance of an insulator is very high since the current won't pass through it. Question number 25 is the name the factor on which the specific resistance of a wire depends to. Two wires A and B are made of a copper. The wire A is long with the while the wire B is short and thick, which will have the more resistance. The two factors on which the specific resistance of a wire depends are the material of the substance and the temperature of the substance. Both the wire will have the same specific resistance because the specific resistance depends on the material of the wire and its dimension. Now the question number 26. Name the substance of which the specific resistance remains almost unchanged by the increase in temperature solution. The substance of which the specific resistance remains almost unchanged by the increase in temperature is manganese. Manganese. This question may come 26 number. Oh God, what happened to देख भाई 26 नंबर आ सकता है इसमें इसका आंसर है मैंगनीज. Now the question number 27 है कि how does the specific resistance of a semiconductor change with the increase in temperature. मतलब कैसे resistance specific resistance change होता है semiconductor में जो कि temperature बढ़ाने पे. तो with the increase in temperature specific resistance of conductor decreases. मतलब इसमें कहता है कि जब temperature increase करेंगे resistor का तो उसका semiconductor का वो decrease हो जाएगा, specific resistance decrease हो जाएगा. specific resistance का symbol P जैसा होता है. Question number 28. How does the resistance, specific resistance and the wire depend on its length and radius. मतलब कैसे resistance और specific resistance wire depend करता है length और radius पे. तो पहला question है कि A number, the resistance of directly proportional to the length of the wire and inversely proportional to the square radius of the wire. Resistance is मतलब resistance जो होता है वो directly proportional होता है length का और wire का and inversely proportional होता है square of a radius of wire. Now the question number B, specific resistance of a wire depend कैसे करता है रेडियस और लेंथ पे. तो specific resistance depend करता है resistance not depend on the length and the radius of the conductor, that is independent and its length and radius. specific resistance जो कि independent होता है वो ना ही लेंथ पे डिपेंड करता है ना ही टेम्परेचर पे डिपेंड करता है और ना ही कुछ और पे डिपेंड करता है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 29 है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 29 है नेम द मटेरियल यूज्ड फॉर मेकिंग द कनेक्शन वायर. कनेक्शन वायर के लिए तो अलॉयस का यूज किया जाता है. कॉपर एंड एल्युमिनियम आर द ओनली मटेरियल यूज्ड फॉर मेकिंग कनेक्शन वायर बिकॉज दे आर स्मॉल स्पेसिफिक रेजिस्टेंस एंड हेंस द वायर इज मटेरियल possess negligible resistance. Why should a connection of wire be thick? The connection of the wire made thick consider the resistance negligible and flow the current throughout the circuit. नेम द मटेरियल यूज्ड फॉर मेकिंग अ फ्यूज वायर गिव अ रीजन. मतलब फ्यूज वायर में कौन सा मटेरियल यूज किया जाता है तो इसमें अलॉय ऑफ लीड एंड टीन इज यूज्ड फॉर मेकिंग फ्यूज वायर बिकॉज इट इज हाईली रेजिस्टिविटी लो मेल्टिंग पॉइंट. मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चन में है विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज ओमिक रेसिस्टेंट एलईडी जंक्शन डायोड. ओमिक रेसिस्टेंट जंक्शन डायोड नहीं है, लेडी नहीं है. फिलामेंट ऑफ वर्ल्ड निक्रोम वायर, इसमें हो जाएगा निक्रोम वायर. तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 है विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग सब्सटेंस विच ऑफ द फ्लोइंग सब्सटेंस डिक्रीजेज विद इंक्रीज इन टेम्परेचर. तो इसमें जैसे ही टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज करेगा तो उसका इंक्रीज करेगा तो रेसिस्टेंस का डिक्रीज होता है. इसमें हो जाएगा इंक्रीज द टेम्परेचर ऑफ कार्बन. इसमें कार्बन क्या होगा रेसिस्टेंस ऑफ इंक्रीज फॉर कार्बन मतलब with the following substance resistant decrease with the increase in temperature. Resistant decreases with the increase in temperature of carbon. अच्छा सी नंबर कार्बन. न्यूमेरिकल में अब आ जाएंगे. न्यूमेरिकल तो सॉल्व किया जाता है. न्यूमेरिकल को एक बार देख लीजिए, रोक रोक के देख लीजिए.